Hello there and welcome back to the Pride of Villa. It feels like quite a long time, doesn't it? It's Ben and we're here for another Villa Roundup this time. I thought we'd have a look at just some games that have gone by. Obviously Aston Villa versus Norwich City. Look towards Burnley versus Aston Villa. Talk about some transfer news and just give a little update as to where we've been. So if you all enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe. Let's get back on that road to 600. Let's get back on form. And without further ado, let's get started. So, if you have been paying attention, obviously it's been a little bit of a while since either one of us, me or Nathan, have uploaded. It's been a while since I've uploaded on my own, to be fair as well. Look, simply put, we're both very busy at the moment. In the past 2 months, I've been hopping from job to job. I'm also in the last few months of my education, so really, especially now I'm in the last month of my education, so I'm in a really, really big month for me. Bigger than football, but obviously we're going to try and keep going at it, Nathan as well. So if you don't see as much content over this month, or at least any instant reactions, you'll at least know why. We've just been very busy over the month. But once May's over the way, we'll be back on it, because obviously the summer transfer window, shall we say, will be back open. There'll be plenty of stuff to talk about there. But let's look at something this week that has happened in good books for Aston Villa. We finally got a win. Aston Villa 2, Norwich City 0 on the weekend. Aston Villa ultimately were the hammer in Norwich City relegation back down to the Championship. I believe they are the team now with the most relegations from the Premier League, which is mental, considering how rubbish they are. But it was going to be happening. It was happening from August, to be fair. But I've just compiled 5 key points from the game that I think we need to discuss about. Obviously, Ollie Watkins getting a goal at 41 minutes, and then Danny Ings in the last few minutes of the game. Both on number 9s, they're getting the goals. Perhaps we don't need a striker. Perhaps we don't need Luis Suarez. Clearly, we don't. We don't need another striker. But let's look at the 5 points. Firstly, Tim Rugabuan, never going to be able to say his name, making his Premier League debut. It's nice to see him. Obviously, he had some minutes against Brighton, and I want to say against Tottenham. Looks very interesting. Definitely one for the future. The fact he's already getting a start ahead, kind of what he was trying to do with Chuck Wemaker and Ramsey, build up those younger stars so we can start to see him come through perhaps next season. But it's nice to see how well of a good shift he put in. I only saw about 20 minutes, to be fair, because I was at work. But I've seen the highlights. I've seen enough basically to know what I need to see of them. Obviously, it was also Dean Smith's return to Villa Park since his sacking in November after that poor start to the season. Believing he could take on the job of Norwich City, he did sit there and say that he felt that his team were able to show enough quality to survive, and he did come out at the end of the game and say basically that he thought he could do it, but ultimately they were unable to. And obviously it was a nice reception for him to get. I know he would have at least had a part, and they would have been enjoying being at Villa Park again, just would have been happier with different circumstances. Bailey being subbed off with an ankle injury. Again, this is his 3rd or 4th injury now. I saw a tweet that put it out on Twitter. Send him back on to the Bundesliga on loan, and if a good offer comes in, because he's just not. He's had a horrible season. Another injury. We're not really seeing the best of him. He did have a good chance where he hit the bar. Tim Krul getting his fingertips to it. We're really always remembering him for his Everton this season. How long did he last on there? Only 25 minutes, so not really ideal there. Perhaps we're going to need to readdress the winger position in the summer. Gerrard needs to start Buendia or Coutinho. We've seen this for the past few games now. Coutinho has massively faded. It's been 2 games that he had at the run at the beginning of his time at Villa, and now he's completely faded back in like he was at Barcelona. Buendia, the best player we've seen since Gerrard coming into the club, has been randomly dropped. He's only getting 20 minutes at the end of the game, and he even got the assist for the Danny Ings goal. Why is he not playing? They can both coexist on the pitch. You just have to play Coutinho out wide on the left, Watkins down the middle, or play Buendia out wide, or perhaps take somebody else off in the middle of the pitch. Hopefully we can. And you mean Buendia should be playing. There is no need to argue it. Buendia has to be playing on a regular basis because he is showing so much more quality going forward than Coutinho has been. So I'm hoping that Gerrard will finally start to see that, and considering there's only about 5 or 6 more games left of the season, just give Buendia those times so we can at least know what we're going into the end of next season with. But he's going to have to work that out. And then finally, obviously, Aston Villa getting those 3 points. It's our 11th clean sheet for the season compared to last year's 15. Only 3 points now behind Newcastle in 10th, 4 behind Brighton in 9th. So it's still really possible. We just really need to get some points against a tough run of fixtures coming up next, which we're now going to look at. Burnley versus Aston Villa. It's a much tougher game. Everybody was knowing this. Obviously, this is the first time we've got to play Burnley this season due to not getting to play them before, due to a COVID outbreak. Villa will be looking to play their away fixture first, and then in a matter of a week or two, we'll be playing the home fixture as well. So, obviously, as I said, the first game against Burnley is going to be away. You know, we haven't won against Burnley at Turf Moor. Obviously, we won in the first Premier League season back 2 years ago. 2-1, but we haven't actually won against them since then for over 50 plus games at Turf Moor. They have made it a solitude. Their fortress of solitude is incredibly difficult to play against them. And look at them now. They've just sacked Sean Dyche and they've gone on 4-game unbeaten run, 3 wins in the last 3. Ultimately also playing a hand in Norwich getting relegated by beating Watford 2-1. That's probably also relegated Watford. Burnley now sit 2 points outside of the relegation zone with Leeds on 34 points. Everton winning today, though, on 32 points. It's very close to the bottom. And I think I agree with all of us saying we're not all going to be massively confident against Burnley. I don't see us winning both games. I think if anyone, we'll at least win one of them. I think we'll win the home one. This one I could probably end up seeing a draw because it just always happens with Burnley. We're just not really good against them, and we don't really seem to, as I said, do well against Turf Moor. But it's really all for Burnley here to get those points, to push themselves away from that relegation scrap. And then also Villa, if they get the 3 points here, as I said, we're still in contention with Newcastle in 10th place and Brighton as well, who have both suffered a little bit of a dip in form right now. So it's all to play for on Saturday. Who's going to be walking out? The winner there. Leave in the comments down below. I'm going with Aston Villa though. Because you've got to be confident. I know I just said we'll probably end up drawing, but you know what? Scratch that. Positivity matches here. 2-1 to Villa. We're going to win away from home. And then finally, I thought we'd just have a quick look at some transfer news. Now, this is another reason why we haven't really been doing much on the channel. Because one of the things we like to do is usually just some midweek, midterm transfer updates. There's nothing going on transfer update-wise. It's all the same. Obviously, the first one is Coutinho. Is he going to be staying? Is he going to be going? You know, the reports are we're just waiting for him to sign the contract. The other ones are saying for the money that he's been paid, Newcastle are willing to match it. It's really one of those where you're like, considering his recent performances and considering what Buendia offers us, at first the hype was like, yes, sign him, he's a different quality. No. For the money we have to pay for him to sign him, you've got Buendia there. You can invest in your younger roles. You can push McGinn forward, build Jacob Ramsey, make Chukwuemeka sign a contract and actually promise him football. That would be a much better option going forward for me rather than having a player that just fades for the weeks that he has. Because it's not worth it. You can't pay that much money and expect 10 out of 10 performances. That's understandable, but he's got to be doing more than what he is because he's really just fades on the pitch. He's not really doing anything. Villa are also looking to target a move for Calvin Phillips. They're looking to really pull out the big guns if they get relegated. I don't see him leaving regardless whatever happens. He signed a contract, I think, not too long ago. And also it's apparently going to cost like 60 million to sign him. So that's not really ideal. And then players like Sanson, Louise, Ings, Target, Troy and more are expected to not be here at Villa Park next season. This is all for Gerrard to rebuild Aston Villa into the team that he feels is fit enough to push on for those top 10 and European spots. Another bit of news was also, I might as well mention it because it didn't get covered on here. Obviously, Villa Park looking to have a massive stadium increase in capacity with the North Stand. Planning has been submitted, it's been nearly approved. I believe they're looking to increase the North Stand capacity to about 50,000. So that's going to be really exciting to see. It's finally getting a bit of a revamp that it's needed for a while. It's finally having that size increase because of the numerous amounts of season tickets waiting. And it's just going to be really nice to see a lot more fans coming into Aston Villa to support the team, clear up those season ticket prices, and overly hopefully experience a season that is going to be much better next year. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you did enjoy this type of style of video, trying to keep it a little bit more short, a bit more condensed, but also still cover a bit more of Villa. As I said, it's really going to be hotting up over the next month as we start to approach that summer transfer window, end of season. And just overall seeing what's going to happen. We will probably try and still go to another game. The final games remain at home are Liverpool, Crystal Palace and Burnley. So I can promise you we will be going to one of those games. And yeah, just keep tuned in on the channel. If you did enjoy this type of video, please leave a like, subscribe so you can keep pushing on, keep showing your support for us, because we're going to bloody need it in this tough rider form. But without further ado, I've been Ben, up the Villa with the pride of Villa. We'll see you next time, boys.